So we got the Freewell V2 Magnetic ND filter system, and I want to let you guys know today what I think about this after around 4 months of using it. So a few months back, I found myself in the position probably a lot of you are familiar with, where I had just gotten a new lens that had a wider filter thread diameter than my existing variable ND filter, so I needed to get a new ND filter. I was also in the position that you also may be familiar with, where I wanted to upgrade from the K&F concept filter I'd been using up to that point. For the record, K&F concept filters are really great. At least the one I've had, it was the $80 one, I think. I've shot a ton of footage on it. I've had really good results with this one and another one I've had. I really like those filters, but they are a little cheaper and I wanted something that was a little higher end. At this juncture, I'm gonna take a departure from 90% of other ND filter videos on YouTube, and I'm not going to try to explain to you the need for an ND filter to make cinematic video. I'm gonna leave that for a different video. If I make that one at some point, comment below if you wanna hear about that. But it's funny how everybody feels the need in their ND filter review to tell you why you need an ND filter when I'm here because I know why I need one. Anyway, quick little rant out of the way. I started shopping and I was not opposed to going the Peter McKinnon Polar Pro ND filter route. Those seem to be kind of the industry standard for people in the freelance filmmaker space. My issue with them, besides them being pretty expensive, was that the range of the variable ND filters seemed a little bit limited to me, because you have the 1 to 5 stop ND, or actually you have the 2 to 5 stop ND, and then the 6 to 9 stop. Obviously you're having to switch out ND filters to get those two different ranges, and each ND filter by itself, it's only 3 stops of exposure adjustment. Now maybe if that's what you're accustomed to, it's not a big deal. I was accustomed to my K&F concept filter, which had a 1 to 9 stop range. It's the K&F concept Nano X series. Yeah, Nano X. That's a really big range that doesn't even seem to be available in the premium ND filter world. But anyway, that's what I was used to shooting with, so I was trying to get something as close to that as I could. So I had pretty well ruled out the Polar Pro filters, and I had narrowed it down to a Tiffin ND, it was 2 to 8 stops, and then this Freewell V2 one that is 3 to 7 stops. Tiffin seemed to be the more tried and true, time-honored one, but this Freewell one I heard some good things about, and I wanted to try out the magnetic thing and see if that was all it cracked up to be. A big uncertainty I had about it though was, would that 7 stops of ND be enough to expose properly on a bright sunny day, especially when shooting in Vlog on the S5 II, which has the base ISO of 640, so it's a little bit brighter. So I had my concerns about that, but I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. So I got it on B&H Photo and got it unboxed. It comes in this really nice leather magnetic top case. And what you're gonna get in there is the ND filter itself, which comes with a lens cap. This is something that not all ND filters come with. So this is a really kind of a significant bonus that it comes with a lens cap so you can keep your ND filter and lens protected while it's on the lens. You're gonna have your magnetic ring that screws into the lens filter threads, and the one that comes with is 82 millimeters, which is perfect for me because my Sigma lens had an 82 millimeter filter thread. And you also have another magnetic lens cap, and this can go on the lens while that filter thread, magnetic ring is attached, to give you a nice lens cap, even if you don't want to store it with the ND filter attached. So what you can actually do with this combo of lens caps is pop this main lens cap on the outside of the filter, the front side, and then if you're not using this one for the lens, you can actually snap this on the back of the ND filter. And what you're left with is a really compact, solid little puck here that you can just throw in your pocket, throw in your bag, and not really worry about it getting damaged at all, because it's really all buttoned up pretty tight. So I like having those 2 lens caps. So I really like the leather case. A little bonus too is that the filter looks cool. I mean, it's got kind of this cool red and black design with kind of a sawtooth design on part of it. It's really, I find it to be pretty cool, which totally does not matter. It does not affect image quality at all, but I just kind of like the way it looks, so that's nice. So it was time to try it out, and what I determined from 4 months now of using it is that 7 stops is really adequate for the kind of filming I do. And of course, it's not the end of the world to have to stop down your lens just a little bit. Instead of shooting at f2.8, maybe you have to shoot at f5.6 or something to get the proper exposure. We don't want to have to do that, but it's totally a workable option if you just are lacking a tiny bit of extra ND. I did find it a little bit of something to get used to have 3 stops be the bright side threshold instead of 1 stop like I was used to on my K&F concept filter. So there will be situations where I'm filming and I'm like, I could use just a little bit less ND. I need some ND, but not 3 stops of ND. But here's where being magnetic comes in, because I can just really quickly snap it off of there, shoot the shot I need to get with a little bit brighter exposure, and then snap it back on, easy peasy. So speaking of magnetic, I want to show you how it actually attaches to the lens. So you have that ring that it comes with, that magnetic ring. So you're going to screw that onto your lens, and they sell different options of these depending on what your filter thread size is. So you get the one that you need for your lens. You're going to screw that on, and then that creates a flat magnetic surface that the filter can then magnetize to. And then on the filter you have little screws that go in on each side, and those hold it nice and secure. So you aren't just relying on the magnets to keep the filter on. Now they give you 2 screws, one for each side of the filter. There's screw holes on each side. I chose to just use one because it seemed like it was secure enough, and it just makes it a lot faster to only have to take out 1 screw instead of 2 when you want to pull the filter off. Having the screws involved kind of kills the speed aspect of the magnetic system, which is kind of a bummer, but I mean, it doesn't add too much time. It would be cool if there was a filter system that didn't have need for screws. Actually, I think the Polar Pro one doesn't. It just has like a twist lock situation. But anyway, this one uses screws. It's okay. So image quality, obviously that's kind of the main idea here, is to improve your image. So you gotta have an ND filter that, you know, gives you a good image quality. I've been totally satisfied with this, and I am not like a expert ND filter image quality analyst, so I'm not gonna give you the side-by-sides showing, you know, how much vignette, how much color shift, and how much sharpness and all that this has, because I'm not the guy to give you specs like that. But in 4 months of using this for everything, I have not once thought that the image quality suffered from it. I really have not noticed it at all. And at the end of the day, that's really what you want from your ND filter, is to not even know it's there, not notice the image changing at all. You want it to just cut out some light and not change anything else. When I was shopping, I definitely agonized a little bit more than I probably should have about how much color shift it had and all of that. And there are videos out there that do great comparisons with this filter and other ones to see which one has the more or less color shift. That was one of the reasons I went with this one, was because it seemed like it had less color shift than other ones do. So as far as I'm concerned, image quality is a checked box with this. It's not something I even think about when I'm using it. So that's a filter that's doing its job, in my opinion. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot to mention, this is also has a built-in circular polarizer. So if you don't know what that is, I will take the time to explain that a little bit. That is used to reduce reflections off of windows and things like that, and to change, it can also change like the vibrance of your sky in your photos and videos. And for me, this is really just a little bonus. I don't use it very much at all on this filter. Every once in a while, I notice, oh, I got some reflections here. Let's see if I can cut those out. And the way you do that is you just rotate the whole filter on the lens. So you loosen your screw and you rotate the whole thing around the magnetic surface. Just kind of handy to have, but I honestly haven't used that just a whole lot. And this filter, like all nicer premium ND filters out there, does have hard stops at 3 stops and at 7 stops. So you don't have to worry about going into the dreaded X pattern of death that ND filters are known for, variable ND filters specifically. That's something that my K&F concept filter did not have, so it's nice to have that on here. But really, that's a pretty minor selling point. I mean, I think they all should have hard stops, but if they don't, you just have to be aware of it and just not push it past there. I mean, I've really never had that be an issue for me. You just make sure you're not pushing it into the danger zone. But anyway, this one has it, so cool. That's good to have. So let's get to some cons of the Freewell V2. As you can probably tell, I've enjoyed my time with it. I like this filter. It's been a good tool for me, but there are a couple of things that could be better. For one thing, people talk about vignetting issues with ND filters, and this does not have much of that at all, but I have noticed it on occasion here and there, especially when I'm maybe walking, doing a walking shot with my S5 II, and the IBIS is moving that sensor around, so you're kind of seeing more of the filter than you would if your shot was still. When it's still, I mean, I don't notice anything at all. There's just a couple times I've kind of noticed that. So vignetting is certainly not an issue, but every once in a while you might notice it. A second thing is these little screws on here that I was talking about that hold it onto the magnet, they like to pop out. If you stuff it in your pocket like this, especially if it isn't tightened down super far, pretty consistently they'll just kind of work their way out and wind up in your pocket. Happily, I don't have holes in my pockets, so I haven't lost one of these yet. That's always just been in the bottom of my pocket just to fish out if I needed it, just waiting for me down there. But that's certainly a bit of an annoyance. It doesn't come out when it's on the camera or even when it's in the camera bag. It's only if I put the filter in my pocket. So that's a bit of a design issue, style issue, having these screws. And a third thing that could be an issue for some people is there's not a very wide selection of those adapter rings that you screw onto your lens to connect this to. I think they only have like 5 or 6 options. It hasn't presented it as an issue to me because the one that it comes with is the 82mm, which is what I needed. But you just want to make sure that they have a ring that fits your lens filter threads. Or I guess you could use a step-up ring to convert it, but that would just get a little bit clunky having 2 rings screwed onto your camera. This filter has served my purpose as well. I haven't had any issues with it. I'm happy I bought it. It's been good for me. That's hopefully your takeaway from this video. I think it fits a nice kind of little niche in the market between kind of the more expensive filters and, you know, the cheaper K&F Concept family of filters, because it's not super expensive, but it definitely feels like an upgrade in quality from the K&F stuff. So that's really what I was looking for. I didn't want to just spend a fortune if I could help it, but I wanted something that was an upgrade in quality. And I probably could have been happy with that Tiffin 2:8 stop ND I was looking at, but I'm really happy I got the magnetic because it turns out I'm doing a lot of switching between photo and video in the shoots I'm going on. And when you're shooting photos, a lot of times you want to run a really high shutter speed to freeze the action, and that's kind of in conflict with the ND filter. So it's really nice to be able to snap it off, shoot a couple of photos, pop it back on real quick and easy, and go about shooting some more video. If you want to check it out, I'll put the link down below. This video has not been sponsored at all, but I do make a commission if you buy through that link, because that's what YouTubers do, is put affiliate links in their descriptions of videos. It's getting a little dark on me here. My cat friend is climbing on the roof of the house because they're into that, I guess. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.